It is draft season here at the Shakkas Den, WWE Raw versus SmackDown, and we have to get into the drafts. And tonight, we have a loaded show for you guys. We want to get in and out polls before Raw comes on. So let's do this. Yes, I am here. Salt Shakers Battleground Podcast. Dreon Santana, what's going on?
I mean, it's Monday. We SmackDown kicked it off for the draft and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a bigger pool tonight for Monday Night Raw, but I don't want to say I'm too mad about the draft for Friday, but I have a lot of, I guess, questions that have probably helped me understand a little bit more about what they had going on for Friday. But other than that, I mean, we're here.
We're here. I mean,
Let us in.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited about what happened last week.
Yeah, a lot of cry about it, um, or watch me's around here.
Y'all really thought Liv was gonna
Pretty,
win.
pretty upset.
That's funny as hell.
It's okay. We're y'all went in with the idea of that was going to happen, and
Yeah.
man, did y'all get swerved?
Mm. And here we are. We start off with Monday Night Raw. We kick off with um, Michael Cole and Pat doing their thing, introducing us, you know. But there's some unfinished business between what seems to be Jay Uso and your man, Damian Priest. Now, Damian has started to look a little more sophisticated with this championship. And I'm a little, girl. Okay. What's your thoughts?
I mean, a lot of people have started to pay attention a little bit more to Damian Priest, but for me, I just feel like this swagger that he's pulling up, he's always had it. I
Mm,
just feel like now that he's champion, it kind of channels when he was the North American champion down in NXT because he had a
yeah.
lot of swagger there. So now that he's champion, you know, you want to at least look like a champion. Now he may not be pulling out what Seth Rollins is pulling out, but he doesn't have to because what works for Damian Priest works for Damian Priest.
Mm, you better say that. We also had a tag team match.
Different.
Miz, the champions, are true taking on DIY. DIY seem they can't get it together. I don't know. Maybe it's time to go back to NXT. Um, Funny that there were talks of King of the Ring because that's what Sheamus said he was more, I guess, focused on. This beef has been going on for so long that it feels like America versus the other countries. Like, I'm sick of it. Give me something else. I'm
Like
so,
the UN, like the
yeah,
United Nations.
I don't know, girl. I'm over it. But then that led to Ludwig actually attacking his partner, Giovanni. And I don't like this. I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm not for tag teams breaking up unless it's the Usos, you know. But we move on. Sheamus is back. Drew's still crying like a little bitch. And he lost fair and square. That's how the cash in works. And Sheamus is like, you've been getting all these opportunities. Like, it's time to move around. He also had a match with Sheamus. I mean, yeah, he had a match with Shinsuke. He won the match, and then Drew attacked him at the end. So I'm sure they're gonna be doing their little bout because obviously there has to be something to build to get Sheamus back. Because Sheamus is a great champion.
He is.
Um, after Chad Gable decided to attack Sammy, he called all the Alpha Academy losers. It's kind of sad.
Not really wrong in a sense.
Damn.
Like, I I don't want. I'm not saying they're all losers, but they're not really winners either. And Chad has been a loser too. So he so if he's gonna call all three of them losers, then he needs to be
Yeah.
called himself a loser. Because right now you're being another solo Sequoia. Because he said
Mm,
losing has consequences. And now he's trying to, run the bloodline. And yet he's a loser himself.
that's true. There was a tag team match. JD. Who is that on the ground? Oh,
Oh,
Andrade.
Andrade. Yeah.
Taking on Ricochet
My bad,
and
Charlotte.
um Ricochet and well, Andrade and Ricochet taking on Santos and JD,
Yeah, because
which
Dominic
was
is coming
odd.
in.
But who gives a fuck? This is the marquee of the fucking night. Y'all thought the shit was gonna be how y'all wanted it to be. Becky is a two-time world champion. That's how you do it. Charlotte gonna come back and get that motherfucking title.
Oh, Lord.
It's a must. It's a must.
It- mm, I could see that, but here's what I'll say, and about this whole situation here. First of all, if for those who thought that Liv was going to win, I don't want to say y'all idiots, but y'all idiots because the thing is that they needed to put it on someone that's going to be in the same tier as a Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan is not in the same tier as Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan may have a little bit of that impact. She may have her sales, but she's not making sales like Rhea Ripley. She's not making sales like Becky Lynch either. Liv Morgan is not a top star yet. She's on her way to becoming a top star in y'all eyes. Quote unquote y'all eyes, because in my eyes, I don't care for Liv Morgan. I feel like they keep running the same thing with her. Being a runner up, being a loser, being like, oh, okay, the only thing y'all can hold over her head is that she beat Ronda Rousey. Becky Lynch beat Ronda Rousey. There's a plethora of women, Dodie, who have beaten Ronda Rousey, but I guess because it's a Liv Morgan, it wouldn't be believable. Whatever. My thing is that if Liv Morgan is going to be on this quote unquote revenge tour, she can't say she's going to be on a tour and then it stops with her winning this championship.
Right.
What happens after that? Y'all gonna do her the same exact way that y'all did when she beat Ronda Rousey, because y'all booed her. Her reign as champion was shitty. Her opponents were Natalia, Shayna Baszler, and right back to Ronda Rousey, where she won at SummerSlam and then she lost at what Elimination Chamber or whatever. So it's like, if we're wanting to have this revenge tour for Liv Morgan, then we need to let it be a tour. Adding Becky to the list, someone that Liv Morgan cannot fucking beat, is that revenge tour. I forgot about Sonya, but see, forget a bunch of people that can be forgettable for her reign. You know what I'm saying? So like, if
Mhm.
this is a revenge tour, she has it has to be built up. It cannot stop with her winning the championship because she injured Rhea Ripley. That
Yeah,
doesn't work that way. That's the dumbest concept ever. And if you thought that, then you're an idiot. That's why Becky is the champion now, because Becky is going to do exactly what she did to Liv Morgan when they had their feud all the way up to day one, and Liv Morgan did not win. Liv Morgan may go off and beat Becky, and then boom, by that time, Rhea Ripley will be on her way back.
maybe.
So I don't know. I don't want her to do anything with Dominic Mysterio at all whatsoever. I feel like that's pointless.
These were the people that were announced for round one: Bianca for SmackDown, Jay Uso for Raw, Carmelo for SmackDown, Seth for Raw, Randy. Well, round two: Randy for SmackDown, Braun for Raw, Nia for SmackDown, Liv Raw, LA Knight and the Bloodline are on SmackDown. Ricochet and Sheamus are Raw. Uh, Andrade and AJ are Raw. I mean, SmackDown. Alpha Academy. Kiana James was a surprise. She's Raw. And then you got the OC, Baron Corbin, Cedric, Alexander, and Ashante Adonis on SmackDown. Then Shayna, Zoe, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and Ivar. I don't know why his name got WWE by it. We also will hear from Logan Paul, and then there's going to be a uh, triple decker tag team match.
What is a triple?
I don't know. I want
That's
checkers.
like something for like Burger King.
Yeah, I want checkers. That's why. And that's it, y'all.
What?
What you want to say?
That's I didn't know. Like I don't know. I don't. Okay. Well, let's come on over to the blue brand while I
Yeah.
gather myself because that was something. So of course, draft night started with on Friday, and it concludes tonight. Which draft season has been happening for basketball and football, across all promotions and everything like that. So of course, we start off with um, uh, Cody and AJ Styles, who did their contract signing for a Backlash that will be taking place this week, and to be exact, in France. So they did their contract signing. They did their, y'all got to start bringing up this man, Daddy, every time y'all feud with him. Every time y'all have a feud with Cody, is about his father, how much he was the inspiration of y'all, and different things like that. That is amazing. Do something else. Okay, I'm tired of y'all bringing up his dad, and every time y'all come around Cody, it's his father, his father, his father. He know what his father has done. Everybody knows what his father done. You don't have to keep bringing it up. So, but this was a more peaceful contract signing than anything else, and this will be the first time that Cody and AJ have actually stepped into the ring with each other, which is quite interesting because they've been on various different promotions with each other, um, but they've never touched the ring with each other, which is interesting, especially since they're both were a part of the Bullet Club. And of course, draft night. Superstars from Raw, SmackDown, NXT are eligible. There were 4 rounds tonight. There are going to be 6 rounds on Monday. 4 draft picks per round. Champions on each brand are protected. SmackDown picks first tonight, and then on Friday, and then Raw is going to pick first on tonight, and then the rosters lock Monday, May 6th. So these were the protected picks for both Raw and SmackDown for champions. So Damian Priest, Becky Lynch, Awesome Truth, and Sami Zayn, they're all locked in on Monday Night Raw. So, and then SmackDown, Cody, Bailey, A Town Under, Down Under, and Logan Paul are locked in for SmackDown. So there's no switching of titles. There's none of that confusion that a lot of people were upset about. None of that is happening. Whatever championship you're holding right here, you're stuck. Now it does not take for the women's tag team champions. So there's that. So I'm sure this is a better way. Like I said, because y'all were really upset about them having to switch titles if they get drafted to a different brand. So now I don't have to worry about that anymore. So as Nikki kind of went over first round picks, first of all, I was extremely happy that Bianca Belair was the first round overall pick. I thought that was absolutely amazing. Not too many women are first round picks for the draft. And Bianca Belair she's number one. Jay Uso, Carmelo Hayes. I knew it was time for him to get called up. I was really, really happy about that. And Seth Rollins, I knew that he was with Becky being champion, staying on Monday Night Raw. That means Seth Rollins is going to stay on Monday Night Raw, and it just fits better for him because I feel like Seth is really Monday Night Raw. But we did get to see Carmelo Hayes, and a way for Carmelo Hayes to be the first one to be drafted up from NXT. Not only be able to step into the ring with someone that he helped train on his return, Cody Rhodes, in the main event, which I thought was really, really interesting because, I mean, it's Carmelo Hayes. Like, not the current NXT champion would have been able to do this and stay in the ring and actually better keep up with Cody Rhodes. We then get into our next match here, which was it was Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio taking on Legado del Fantasma, Angel Garza, and Alberto. Now, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee did get the victory over Legado del Fantasma. Now, and within this match here, I was trying to figure out who the hell attacked Dragon Lee. It's tonight the night that we're going to find out that Dragon Lee was attacked by Carlito, obviously. So after the match, Santos came out, him and Electra came out, and he was like, I'm letting you know that I'm not a liar at all whatsoever. And I'm definitely telling you that I did not attack Dragon Lee. And so Electra, pulled some strings to get the footage of who attacked Dragon Lee before the match for WrestleMania with Rey Mysterio and Dominic and Santos. And well, we saw Carlito, which he really could not disguise himself with that big ass afro, take out Dragon Lee in the back, and then proceeded to pretend as if like he found Dragon Lee here and did not know what happened. And well, there we have it. Carlito is exactly what he is, a backstabber.
This is
And
crazy, to be honest.
Ray, you gotta stop. You have to stop befriending Hispanics, okay? And I can say this because I am also Hispanic, so it doesn't bother me. You can say whatever you want, but you gotta stop it. Honestly, you can't. This is what happened when you just group all the same races and ethnicities and nationalities together. All people are not your people at the end of the day. Okay, it's gonna come a time where they show their true colors, and you have to stop befriending all these people. I'm telling you, honestly, truly, you're gonna have to. So I don't know what's gonna be next, but we'll have to figure it out. But I'm sure that we're gonna be shading back to 2005 when Carlito had Carlito's Cabana for the first episode, and he had Rey Mysterio as his first guest. So who knows what's gonna happen with this? But Dragon Lee, you managed to always be, the person that gets attacked. Every time you just the person that gets attacked. It's crazy. Then we get to this match here, which wasn't really a match. I thought it was just a practice, match for Braun Breaker. And he took on Cedric Alexander. If you blinked once, this match was over. You completely missed it. And Braun Breaker did go off to beat Cedric Alexander. Ta-da. And then we got into round 2 of draft night. We had a lot of legends, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers be here to present the draft for round 2. We had Michelle McCool and Tori Wilson. So then we had Randy Orton be drafted to, or basically stand on Friday Night SmackDown. Braun Breaker is switching from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw, which I think that is great. Because you need to keep some type of separation. I feel like Braun would do great on Monday Night Raw because he's kind of just getting
Yeah.
built up for SmackDown. So I feel like even, and I know a lot of people were saying like, oh, well, he signed a contract to SmackDown. That shit goes out the window because that's the case. Jay shouldn't even be in the draft when she signed up when she
Yeah.
signed to SmackDown. So I don't know, but I'm very happy that Braun Breaker is going to Monday Night Raw
Yeah.
because I don't need him here on SmackDown.
Not too much.
What I am happy about is Nia Jax is coming and definitely made some noise to be on the SmackDown brand. I am extremely excited about that. Really, really happy about that. This is the first time she's ever been on Friday Night SmackDown. So I think that this is a great for her. It gives her something fresh and something new. She's kind of been, building that division over there on Monday Night Raw. Now it's time for her to extend that on Friday Night SmackDown. And Liv Morgan staying on Monday Night Raw. There's that. We also got to see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill held their standoff against the Kabuki Warriors, which they will be taking on the Kabuki Warriors at Backlash for those women's tag team champions. And will Bianca Belair and Jade become the new women's tag team champions? Um, Now, in the midst of Bianca and Jade and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi having their bickering back and forth, Kevin Owens, who was attacking Solo and Tama Tonga backstage, they all made their way to the ring, and Kevin Owens continued to demolish Tama Tonga before Solo came out, and then Randy Orton came out to even out the odds, which will lead to them having their match also scheduled for Backlash. Solo and Tama Tonga will be taking on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. So you love to see it. And then we get into round three of the 2024 draft, which I think that was great to see the Dudley boys here doing their thing, representing different brands at that. LA Knight will be staying on SmackDown. I really wanted LA Knight to go to Monday Night Raw because I feel like he needs a new change of scenery for me. But he's going to be staying here on the Blue brand. Ricochet is going to be staying on Monday Night Raw, I guess, because Samantha's there. So, I mean, it just kind of makes sense. But I wouldn't mind seeing Ricochet on SmackDown. I feel like he would have a different range to as well. Kind of shocking that he would be the one announced to be drafted. Because y'all kind of been paying a lot of attention to him, but I guess because he's been doing WWE Speed and he is the first ever champion, so I guess that makes sense too. The Bloodline, I mean, of course, kind of pretty much just knew that they were going to be staying on SmackDown. Didn't think anything of it. Roman Reigns withdrew his eligibility to be drafted, so he's a free agent, I guess. And Jimmy did not show up in the draft pool, so don't really know what's going to happen with that either. And then Sheamus is drafted to Monday Night Raw. So shout out to Sheamus, Jesus Christ, for being drafted. Maybe he goes to the King of the Ring, and of course we're probably going to see him and Drew have their thing go off. So, and then we get into Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi. Of course, we know that Naomi and Bailey were having their match last week, but Tiffany Stratton took it upon herself to get involved and cause that match to end in no contest. Shut up, Joseph. Tongue twisted here. I'm talking too fast. And this led to this match here. And if Trinity, why don't you saying Trinity? If Naomi was to defeat Tiffany, then she will go off to face Bailey at Backlash. But if Tiffany was to win, then she will go out to face um, Bailey at Backlash. Well, this match ended in no contest because, like I said, Nia Jax, not only did she get drafted to SmackDown, but she definitely let me know that she is here. And she took out Bailey and she took out Naomi, which now is going to lead to Tiffany and Naomi both getting a shot at Bailey's championship at Backlash, which I think that is great. I think that it's awesome to have that. Tiffany Stratton is definitely like she's definitely that girl who I'm glad that she has not gotten lost on SmackDown. I feel like SmackDown was a perfect fit for her to be there because she's definitely blossomed a lot. She's definitely been finding her way to stay in the nose of the champions and her opponents too. So, and then also if you see Nia and Tiffany doing their TikTok stuff, I just think that is great too because Nia didn't even touch Tiffany. So, and there's that. And then we get into the last and final picks for the WWE draft where we had Teddy Long and JBL. And then, of course, AJ Styles is staying on Friday Night SmackDown. Alpha Academy is staying on Hey Sharkuchi. Alpha Academy is staying on Monday Night Raw. Andrade is being drafted to SmackDown, which is something that I was not expecting, but maybe he's probably going to be helping LWO in probably some shape or form. And then we discussed Kiana James being drafted. This was definitely a big shocker. I was not expecting her to be drafted at all whatsoever to the main roster or anything like that. But Kiana James has definitely been a really great talent down at NXT. I thought maybe there was a little bit more that they wanted to do for her. But I guess they feel like she has done enough for NXT to get that call up. And I'm really excited to see what she does on the main roster. And a lot of y'all who was having a conversation about questioning her blackness, cut it out. But shout out to Kiana James. I'm ready to see what she does on the main roster. The girl is extremely talented in the ring, and she's a great talker too. You don't really find too many of the newer girls down at NXT that can do both. It's very rare. So shout out to her. She got a lot of support from everyone down at NXT, especially Lash and Jakara, which I thought was even more amazing at that. So, and then we get into our main event, Carmella Hayes versus Cody Rhodes. This match here was really great. Besides whatever the hell that W2K botch they had going on, it is what it is, and it definitely seem to have recovered with whatever the timing was they was trying to do. But other than that, I think this is a great way to get a lot of people um I guess familiar with Carmelo, especially if they're not really in tune to NXT. And I know he's had his matches here on the main roster too, but to kind of get a little bit more into him, um, I'm extremely proud. I'm extremely happy. But Cody Rhodes did get that victory over Carmelo Hayes, but I don't think that this hurts Carmelo in any way. Your first, you get drafted to the main roster, and your first match is with the world champion. Not too many people can do that and pull off a great show with him too. So shout out to Carmelo. But Cody Rhodes did get that victory. And left with AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes having this face off before everything went out. But of course, Friday Night SmackDown is going to be in France this week and everything. So we got to see what's going to go on with that. But I'm sure Melo is going to have I'm sure that, a lot of I think the NXT being a part of draft is always really special because you're just hoping that those who do get called up don't get lost in the shuffle, are able to because being in NXT and then being on the main roster is totally different. You're
Right.
in front of you're in front of a different crowd every week versus NXT, you more so in front of the crowd of the same people, unless it's a pay per view where they are traveling somewhere else. But a lot of times in NXT, they're in front of the same as that crowd. A lot of them, they know the fans and stuff like that. Versus the main roster, you don't know if you're getting a good crowd, a bad crowd, and sometimes you get a crowd that just don't give a fuck. They just ready to see who they want to see, and then that's that. You
That's it.
know. So, but I'm hoping that creative does all of them justice. I will say, and this gives them opportunity to be on the eyes of a lot of you know more people that actually watches of course main roster stuff and not NXT. But that was pretty much that, and that was pretty much I guess you can say night one of WWE draft and everything. So I don't know. Sometimes that crowd be
Mm,
shit, they be knocked out. And I'm like, girl, what's
that's
wrong with y'all? Why
right.
did y'all come here? What are y'all here for? Why are you not making no noise? Like I don't know. I don't make a lot of noise when I'm at wrestling shows because I'm doing stuff like taking pictures because I'm focused. But I make some noise for my people. I make some
Yeah.
noise, but I'm not loud. You don't know that I'm making noise. I'm not like how Nikki, is.
Mm,
You're gonna hear Nikki. I'm telling you, it's like a cheerleader out there. I'm telling
yeah.
you, and I don't have my cheer voice anymore. Um, but yeah, so we thank you guys so much for coming in. I hope you guys liked the draft for night one. I know that for tonight for Monday Night Raw, it's a bigger draft pool. So hoping and expecting to see some more NXT call ups. Who is it going to be? It always shocks me. So I really really don't know. I do have a I when I was younger, I used to be a cheerleader, through and through cheerleader basketball. I did a lot of sporty kind of things. So, but I don't think I have a cheer voice anymore. I don't even yell anymore. So, or even raise my voice. So like I don't know, but yeah. So yeah. But thank you guys for coming in. I really do appreciate it as always. Be back tomorrow for week 2 of NXT Spring
Woo.
Break-In. Um, man, they have matches for tomorrow, but I feel like they did their big matches on last week. So yeah, I did hear Daddy Nick does have 2 belts now. So
Mm.
Eddie, it's okay. It's all right. I will find another way to use you. Pause. But yeah, so that's about it. Follow Battleground Podcast for always having us in here. Follow them. They do have an interview. I think it's out now, but they do have an interview out with our truth. So definitely go and check that out and everything too. You can continue to follow us on all social media platforms at the Shakkas Den. Like I said, we'll be back on tomorrow for week 2 for NXT Spring Break-In. And then of course we got what TNA wrestling on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if we're going to be doing predictions on Friday for Backlash, but we'll keep you posted on all that stuff too and everything. But other than that, like I said, follow us on all social media platforms. Thank you guys for coming in as always. And we'll see you guys back on tomorrow. This has been your favorite and best edition of Raw versus SmackDown
Period.
in the den, where of course it is invite only.
Ah.